Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Throwback Thursday. IG, YouTube, the chat. Kev Turbo, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Make sure y'all drop your name, where you typing in from. Andre, oh man, hey. Y'all like the titles? Today, I'm talking about that LLC you purchased means nothing. I'm telling you. That LLC you just purchased, it don't mean nothing, fam. Y'all chime in. Make sure y'all share this with at least 2 to 3 people. Drop your name. Let me know what city you chiming in from. Drop your company name. It's all about support. Welcome, welcome. Billions, what up? Today we talking about that LLC you purchased don't mean nothing, family. You know? So, as people are coming in, and if you share this with at least 2 to 3 people, make sure you say done. So, as I'm, on the internet and people are sending me posts and saying, hey, what do you think about this? Or does this make sense? Or whatever the case may be. And I'm seeing so many of these $1 million business funding hacks. And they say all you need to do is get an LLC. And I'm telling y'all, like, people, I'm not gonna say they setting y'all up for failure, but all they doing is selling y'all like some table scraps. I'm telling you, all people are doing is selling you table scraps. So make sure you are on. Make sure you share this. Appreciate that, Billions. Today we're gonna talk about that LLC you purchased doesn't mean anything. Rico, what up? The LLC you purchased means nothing. See, let me give y'all a little bit of backstory for those who may or may not know me. LLC is a Billions, you funny, man. So let me give y'all a little backstory. So if y'all don't know, Will Roundtree wow, going on 20 years of being an actual entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since 2003, well before entrepreneurship was even cool. Back when I was an entrepreneur, when you told somebody that, they looked at you like you was crazy. They would say, why don't you go get a job? Like, it wasn't as cool as it is now to say you're an entrepreneur. And throughout my entire journey, I've, witnessed ups and downs. I've experienced more downs than wins. I failed 70% of the time. Let me say that again. I failed 70% of the time. Now, let me tell you why that's important. It's important to know that because a lot of times when people are jumping into business, a lot of times when people are jumping into entrepreneurship, they think you're supposed to be successful tomorrow. They think you're supposed to be successful in a week. People will invest in your coaching and mentorship and will assume they're supposed to be where you are, even though they've been in it one day and you've been in it 10, 20 plus years. See, when you invest in something, you're paying for the information, not the outcome, because the outcome is on you. And so I say I failed 70% of the time, but what that allowed me to do is it taught me everything of what not to do. Let me say that again, because that may have went over some of y'all heads. And if you're just joining in, I'm going to talk to you about that LLC you purchased don't mean nothing, family. You just potentially wasted your money. And I'm going to tell you why. So you definitely want to make sure you stay locked in. See, I failed 70% of the time, but those failures gave me information of what not to do. See, a lot of the times when we jump into business, we automatically want to know everything of what to do. But it's actually more important of knowing what not to do, because everything that you do may not be beneficial for you. So it's extremely important to know what not to do when it comes to jumping into business. And so my 70% failure, which in the game of baseball, which is ironic, if you bat 30%, you get paid hundreds of millions of dollars. So the average person who's heard or hear me say I fail 70% of the time, I'm batting at an elite baseball average batting average, which is 300% or 30%. Someone who hits the ball 3 out of 10 times makes hundreds of millions of dollars. All you got to do is know how to hit the ball 3 times out of 10 at bat. So understand that in business or whatever it is you're looking to be successful at, you just got to at least get to that 30 percentile. We're too busy trying to hit a home run every single play. It's people in the game of baseball who make hundreds of millions of dollars just for bunting the ball, never even hit a home run. This is why it's important to know what not to do in business. Know your role. Know your role in business. And so I failed 70% of the time in business. It taught me what not to do. I've gained experiences. And through those experiences, one of the biggest things that I've learned was never use your own money when it comes to business. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is to never use your own money when it comes to business. Credit was used to create wealth. Credit was used to give us an opportunity to get to that next level. And so I'm saying all of that to say that I've been in this space a very long time. I'm going to get to the point why the LLCs are pointless. You just wasted your money if you just bought an LLC. I'm going to get to that. And so I learned a valuable lesson of why I shouldn't use my own money when it comes to business. And so fast forward 2007, 2008, I started actually learning and teaching about credit. I was teaching people about business credit back before most people even knew that business credit was a real thing. Let me say that again. I was teaching people about business credit back before people even knew that business credit was even a real thing. Back in 2007, the average person didn't even understand their personal credit, let alone business credit. And back in that time, the way that business credit was structured and the way that you could leverage it was completely different. It's completely different than how it is today. Completely different. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, Will, why do you say an LLC is worthless? See, every day I get on the internet as I'm responding to my messages and I'm getting, people sending me videos of things that operate outside of the concepts that I teach. And it's interesting because the people's videos they send me, they don't even have a business. They're telling you to get an LLC and they don't even look like they have a business. They're like, it's as I'm going through their page, they're just teaching you a hack. They're not even running a business. So follow me. And so the thing that I'm really trying to show people is that we have to stop looking for the shortcuts. I don't do homeboy business, or at least I do my best not to, because I'm not perfect. And of course, sometimes I have empathy for people who I love and that I grew up with and who I say that's my bro, my cuz, or whoever. But I do my best not to do homeboy business. And I do my best to make sure that everything I do is actually in the realms of how, if they were to go to any other business, that's how we're going to that's how we're going to transact and do business. When I'm loaning money out, because I've done deal structures where I'm lending out my money, we're going to have paperwork. We're going to have an agreement. My attorney's going to draw up the paperwork, and I'm going to make sure you have collateral, because just like if you were to go to the bank, they're going to ask for all of that. We're not shaking hands and signing paperwork over a napkin. I don't do business like that. I don't care if you my day one or we just met yesterday. We're going to do business on the up and up. And a part of that is that you got to have a business in place. I needed to be able to attach to something. You're going to have some form of collateral. We're doing business the right way. Okay. And so I'm saying all of this to set the precedent. Thank you for the badges. Appreciate that. Thank you. The reason I'm setting the precedent for all of that, I want you guys to know that I've been on this journey for a long time. Again, I've been preaching and educating and leveraging business credit long before people even knew that business credit was possible. the net 30 strategies and like all of the stuff that people are selling you guys right now, 90% of it is outdated. Let me say that again. 90% of the things that people are selling you guys on the fact when it comes to business credit, 90% of that information is outdated. And one of the things that I constantly keep seeing when it comes to the internet and these business credit hacks is all you have to do to get $10 million in credit is to get an LLC. That is not what you And so when I'm saying that the LLC that you just purchased is worthless, it's really me being funny, because what I'm really trying to convey is that you have to do more than have an LLC to get some funding. Like, there are other guidelines. Don't let people sell you on the fact of just having an LLC. Because here's the first thing. What's good, King Will? REI 90 Group 2 in the biddy. Peace. What's going on with you, family? So here's the thing. With having the LLC, there's still data points that you need to have in place in order for the LLC to even have any value. Because here's the first thing that people don't tell you. In most states, you have an annual fee. So if you're going out there setting up 10 LLCs, and let's say you live in the state of California, that's $10,000 every single year in annual fees. Think about that. These are the things nobody wants to tell you. They just told you to go set up that LLC and you'll get $100 million in business credit. These are the things nobody's telling you. Now, they give you the very basic, the very surface level stuff. The stuff that the stuff that people say, "Oh, I can just Google." Yeah, the stuff that y'all are buying from a lot of these people, that stuff you can Google. But the stuff that we really teach, the stuff that I teach, the stuff that my brother ML Billions teach, you can't just Google this stuff. Like, this is stuff you really gotta be in this. You have to really be in the trenches. You gotta have been locking arms with underwriters. The guidelines are constantly changing. Like, they don't always give y'all this stuff. A lot of the times they've bought in our courses and now they're regurgitating it and getting a few clicks, and people are biting on their programs because they're cheap. Why would you even want the cheapest program if you're saying you want $500,000 in funding? If you want $250,000, if you want $100,000 in business funding, why would you want the cheapest program? You want the program that has the best value. These are things nobody ever talk about. So that LLC you purchase is worthless if you don't have all of the other things in place outside of the website, outside of the business phone number, outside of the address. Things we've been teaching. I've been teaching people that 10 years ago. My son consults people on how to do those things. But see, one of the things nobody ever tells people how you get the real money, because it's levels when it comes to business funding. It's levels to this. And if y'all see me looking at two different screens, I got the YouTube chat, I got Instagram. It's levels to this. See, nobody ever talks about the income that LLC has to generate. Nobody ever talks about the income. Now, here's the thing. And let me give a disclaimer. 2022, can we use our house address still? I'll get to that. Here's the thing. This is not financial advice. I'm not a certified financial advisor. I don't want y'all tagging the police on me. But I will say, your business has to have income. Is your company, are you showing income? Now, keep in mind, when you have an LLC, and if you have a 9-to-5 job, keep in mind that that income drives through one tax return through what's called a Schedule C. And what happens most often that people, because you don't pay any taxes on your 1099 income that goes through your LLC, you write everything off so that you don't have as much of a tax liability. So now you've just made your LLC that much more worthless because you're not showing any income. Which leads to my second thing, is that you got to have tax returns. Nobody is filing taxes. So even if your LLC didn't make money, but you haven't filed taxes, your LLC is worthless. Just like that seasoned corp that you've invested in. That seasoned LLC that you paid $10,000 for, that's 37 years old, is worthless, fam. if it doesn't have tax returns and income attached to it. History means nothing to the banks when there's no income. Somebody put that in the chat. The history of your company that you've invested in, the history of that shelved LLC means nothing if it has no income. You have to file the taxes. Now, if you have a shelved corp that you've invested in, you can file back taxes on it. A lot of people didn't know that. You can file back taxes, but here's the thing. You have to pay to play, which means you're gonna have to owe the IRS something. But I would rather owe them $10,000 to show $150,000 worth of income to be able to go and get $250,000 in funding, because I can make payments on my tax bill. I can use my credit to pay my tax bill if I need to. So we have to start looking at, it's a strategy in place, and the LLC by itself means nothing. That shelf corp you've invested in that you spent thousands of dollars for means nothing. Yes, the basics, having an address, a phone number, everybody know how to do that. Everybody know how to do that. But that LLC you purchase is worthless without income and tax returns. Period. You said it right. There is worth billions, what you said. Absolutely. And thank you for pointing that out. And I had to come on here because, again, I actually care about the information. Because now people who are close to me, because here's the thing that I've learned. Appreciate the badges, Cal. Here's one of the many things that I've learned. The people closest to you sometimes will not invest with you if you offer a product or service-based business, because they don't want you to know their personal information. And I could leave it at that, but I do kind of have, like, I got a big heart. Let me just put it like that. And I'm tired of seeing people get jammed up by people out here selling these, BS business credit hacks, these credit hacks, and it's jamming people up. Some people gonna get prosecuted in the next several years, and the rest of y'all just gonna be in a worse financial situation because you're spending more money for outdated and irrelevant information. Whereas you could have just went directly to the source, spent one time, and you would have been in position. So that LLC you purchased, fam, means nothing if you don't show income, if you're not filing taxes, if you don't have a legitimate business. You got to know how to play the game. You have to know how to play the game. Stop just purchasing LLCs just for the hell of it. I don't care what you heard about a holding company and setting up an umbrella LLC and a series LLC. Like, none of that stuff mean nothing if your companies aren't making any money. You just regurgitating some stuff you heard off the internet. And I'm going to just be brutally honest with y'all. This is why people laughing at us. We think we've found something new. No, these strategies have been around. So we at least want to play the game the right way. This is why when you're going to the banks and you're getting denied with your 15-year-old shelf corp that you've invested in, because you're not structured properly. You don't have the right paperwork. You haven't filed taxes. You're not showing any income. We need another Chris Cole interview, family. Absolutely. Me and Chris Cole working on something right now. What is your thoughts? My tax man said, let go of my LLC until I've made a certain amount of money. I can't say let go of your LLC because I don't know what your strategy is. But if you actually have a strategy put in place, you keep it. You keep it. You keep it. But without me knowing your situation, I can't say. This is why we got to have people who we hire as professionals to teach us these things. Now, if your end goal is growing your business, your tax person doesn't know finances necessarily. This is why I say when you're doing your taxes, find a tax strategist that understands financing. Not all tax strategists understand financing. They understand taxes. These are completely different scenarios. And this is why I say you have to have an A team. when it comes to creating what it is you're looking to create. This is why a lot of times people like to do business with my company and my team, because we give you access to all of those resources. You know, if you are not a part of the ecosystem, we don't just give out our resources because people burn the plugs. You got to be a part of our ecosystem. You have to have invested in one of our programs. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars vetting out the people who I recommend to my ecosystem. We don't just give it away. Just like when you have a good shoe connect, you don't just give it away to anybody. They have to be a part of your circle. What books would you recommend on financing and financial literacy? I mean, it depends on what it is you're looking to learn. And here's the thing. I think that a lot of times when we say what book should we read, it's really more about we have to figure out what our end goal is and then find something that's going to be identifiable on whatever your particular strategy is of what you're trying to accomplish. And I personally say it's not the financing books that's going to change how you deal with money. It's the books that teaches you personal development that's going to give you a better outcome. So Think and Grow Rich should be one of the first books that you read. Rich Dad, Poor Dad should be one of the first books that you read. The Cash Flow Quadrant should be one of the first books that you read, because you have to completely change your entire, you have to have a complete paradigm shift about how money works. Whenever somebody comes to me and say, oh, I'm going to save up to do that, that lets me know they don't know anything about how money or business works. See, let me tell you the difference between wealthy people and poor people. And I'm using the term poor as people who pass over opportunities repeatedly. How did you find your team? Through trial and error, people who I've invested in, networking. For people who play at a high level, we invest a lot of money to get into different rooms. And sometimes we pay just to play to get into those rooms. This is how, a lot of people have built their network. See, here's the difference between how wealthy people do business and how poor people do business. Dwayne, what's going on, fam? See, wealthy people, we don't use the words like, oh, I'm going to save up to get my website, or I'm going to save up to join your program. Wealthy people say, I'm going to go and borrow and leverage my credit to purchase that building. I'm going to leverage my credit to make sure I have a budget for legal fees. I'm going to leverage my credit to be able to pay for a new virtual assistant. Because the last time I checked, 55+% of Black and minority families have less than $500 in savings. How are you going to save up if we don't even have a savings? Think about that. How do you save up when you don't have a savings? The word savings or saving money is a poor person strategy. Banks, like I'm telling you, like these things, like let's start connecting the dots. The banks want us to save our money. Somebody write this down. The banks want us to save our money to put into their institution so they can use to go and invest and make more money. Tiffany, thank you for the badge. Think about that. The banks want us to save our money in their institutions so that they can use it and go and invest it. Like, has anybody ever tried to go and log into their online banking like late at night and it says under maintenance? That under maintenance message means they're moving your money around. That under maintenance means they're moving your money around. They can't let you see that your account is actually in the negatives. It's in the negatives because they've made a play and they need time to be able to put that money back into your account. So they know poor people save money in the bank so that they can go and play with it. But see, here's what wealthy people do. Wealthy people, or people who understand these concepts, they go and borrow the bank's money and go and play with that. And then the money that they make, they go and the money they make from the plays, they take that money and go buy more assets. And then they dump all of their money into assets. wealthy people and people who understand these concepts, they don't have savings accounts. They have assets. And when they want to borrow money, they borrow the money against their assets, or they borrow the money from the banks. Whereas poor people save money that they can't even save. So the banks can go and play with their money. What are they investing in? Banks invest in stocks, hedge funds, real estate. They invest in anything that's bringing them a return. Everything that we should be investing in. Let me put it that way. The banks are investing in everything that we should be investing in. But we're too busy saving our money so that they can go and invest it and give us a 0.00001% return. What up, Tommy? See, nobody ever thinks about this. So that little LLC, and I'm being facetious, but that LLC that people keep telling y'all to go set up is worthless if you don't have the other strategies in place. We have to start learning all of these concepts, and I get it. It's so much BS on the internet. We can't get to the real stuff. Keep in mind, if it's free, it's going to cost you. Let me say that again. If you're looking for something free, or all you're doing is consuming just free, it's going to cost you on the back end. And it's usually more expensive. And like my grandmother used to say, you do it right or you pay twice. If you do it right, if you don't do it right, you're going to pay twice, period. And usually the second time is more expensive. Agree. It's so much noise on the internet. It's a lot of noise on the internet. Like I really don't scroll much on social media, primarily because a lot of the stuff, like if you stay on some BS too long, the algorithm is going to pick that up, and now they're going to send you nothing but BS. Like that's how social media works. So if you want more quality and substance content, make sure you're watching videos like this. Make sure you're watching videos from my brothers like Billions, and I saw the Monopoly Bros on here. Like, make sure you're following that type of content. That's how the algorithms continue to send you quality content. And trust me, I like a little bit of ratchetness. I want to see, the funny stuff and all of that from time to time, but that's not what I want my day to be consumed of. I want to come across content that's going to drop some gems that can help me to get a different perspective of something, and I can take that information and run with it. If you're just joining, that LLC means nothing. The LLC you just purchased don't mean anything, y'all. And it doesn't mean anything if you don't have income, if you're not filing taxes. If you went and bought a shelved corporation or a seasoned LLC that's 47 years old, you just wasted your money if you're not willing to file back taxes on that company. LLC means a lot. It doesn't mean anything if you're not doing the right thing with it. Hopefully you guys are catching what I'm saying. Just the LLC by itself means nothing, because half of the videos that pop up on our timelines, they say, you want to know the credit hack to get $500,000 in credit, in business credit? Just get an LLC, get a business phone number, be at a website. Like that alone will not get you that. You'll get a couple credit cards, but to really unlock, to get access to real funding, the funding where you can actually sit at a table and go and close some real estate, the type of funding where you can actually go and transact business, you got to show tax returns and income. You're going to have to pay some form of a tax liability. It's almost like, okay, if I show you that I can pay this in taxes, I need you to be able to give me this amount in credit. You got to learn these strategies. You have to. These are all concepts. These are all concepts. So hopefully you guys have learned something here. I'm going to be breaking all of this down on my 5-day challenge. I need everybody to go to fundingchallenge.net. Fundingchallenge.net. I'm going to break down over the course of 5 days everything you need to know in order to get access to the real bag. You know what? No, I'm going to show you how to get to the bank, because you got to take the bags to the banks. See, getting the bag is cute, but I want the bank. I'm going to show y'all how to get the bank, y'all. So I need you to go. In the 5-day challenge is completely free. So you have no excuse. You have no excuse. Those credit cards will still be backed by your personal credit. And if it's bad, your business credit worthiness is bad. Yes, the credit is still backed by your personal credit. It's no way around that. But that's not the point of what I'm making. Because essentially, you are still the collateral. Your personal credit is the collateral for the unsecured credit on your business. But a lot of people are scared to put up their social security number because a lot of times they want to burn the banks. Let's just keep it a buck. Yeah, I want the bank, y'all. I don't want the bag. It takes 2 to 3 years to build business credit. That's not true. It doesn't take 2 to 3 years to build business credit. That is not true. That is not true. Again, if you just follow me, I've been teaching this for over 10 years. It takes 2 years in order to get approved for business lines of credit. But it doesn't take 2 to 3 years to build business credit. That's not true. Why would you burn the plug? You know what? That's a very good question. And a lot of people do so. And unfortunately, some people get a lot of credit and they run off from the banks, and then they go to credit repair companies asking the credit repair company to get it off. And then they get mad because the debt won't come off right away and call the credit repair company a scam, although they scammed the bank because they took out debt from a bank that they had no intentions on paying back. So, but I don't know why they would burn the plugs. I don't ask those questions. You know, I always say I don't sign up for that. I don't sign up for the class of asking why. I don't sign up for that class. And like Star J said, because some people don't know the importance of credit. You're absolutely correct. So I need you guys to go to fundingchallenge.net. I'm going to be doing a free 5-day challenge where I'm going to show you everything from beginning to end on how to get access to the bank. I'm going to show you guys how to play the role of the bank. Because again, poor people save money. And poor stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. I'm not talking about your economic situation. But unfortunately, because you are poor, it's forcing you into a financial ruin. We need to start utilizing wealthy concepts to change the poor mentality. See, when you follow concepts, your mentality has to change, because the only way that you can be successful by is changing how you think about it with that concept. Just like I often say, the concept of gravity, the law of gravity. If you walk off the ledge of a 10-story building, you will die. So you have to change your concept of thinking you're invincible. So why is it that we feel we're financially invincible when we don't have enough, when we don't even have enough to cover our bills well past, us leaving Earth? A lot of people feel they're financially invincible, even though they've defied the basic concepts of building wealth. And if you break down the term wealth, it's ownership of property, assets, and all types of things. So you can't amass wealth unless you don't own nothing. So you got to follow the concepts to put you in that position. All right. You have to follow the concepts to put you in that position. So I need you to go to fundingchallenge.net, my free 5-day challenge. I'm going to break all of that down. Make sure you continue to stay locked in. And I need some help from y'all. I need some help. Y'all let me know, should I continue these lives? Again, this is my 2nd day going live on YouTube. Y'all let me know if I should continue these lives. I haven't gone live in a while. I used to do something called FICO Fridays, where every Friday for 3 years, it would be 2 people on there. My second phone and my videographer. We would be the only 2 on FICO Fridays. And so, and I did that for 3 years, no matter who showed up, no matter what the outcome was, no matter if I was on vacation, if I was out of town, no matter what it was, I made a conscious effort to stay committed to providing that valuable information. And a lot of people, lives have changed from my FICO Friday. So what I'm thinking about doing is coming back in doing something every single Wednesday. I need y'all to let me know if I should come back and do something every Wednesday. Matter of fact, y'all give me some. I want y'all to DM me some names. DM me some names that I could use. DM me a title I could use for Wednesdays, and whoever gives me a name that I decide to use, appreciate the badges, thank you. And whoever name I pick that I decide to use, and I'm going to do something on Wednesdays, I'm going to offer you a free consultation, a free strategy call with myself, and I'm going to send you both copies of my books, Credit is King, as well as what's the name of my second book? Full-Time CEO, the shit they don't tell you. So I want you guys to come up with the name I'm gonna do something every single Wednesday. I'm gonna come on here, go live. I'm gonna, bring you guys some game, give you guys some concepts, show you how to get to the bank. And whoever sends me the name that I decide to pick for Wednesday, so I'm giving you some context. I'm gonna do it on Wednesday. Then I will give you a free strategy call and give you a copy of both of my books. A one-on-one consultation. Yes, it will be a one-on-one consultation if I pick the name that you choose or that you recommend for me to continue these Wednesday lives. But I'm I'll definitely go live over the next few days. Make sure you go and register for my 5-day challenge. It's completely free. Go to fundingchallenge.net. Over the course of 5 days, starting October 24th, I'm going to break down everything you need to know to get to the bank. Credit Hack Wednesdays. Okay. Make sure y'all DM me these names. I'm not going to remember all of those. Y'all giving me some good ones so far. Wealth Wednesdays. Okay. Y'all keep send them to me in my DM. All right, we got a couple questions. Everything is a PG Patriot Act. Yes, you do have to PG everything. I'm basically looking out for someone who is starting from zero, how to set up funding for a business they know will be successful. Absolutely, Al Bundy. And that's why I am doing my free 5-day challenge. Thank you for dropping that in the comments for me. That's why I'm doing my free 5-day challenge where I'm going to break down all of this information. Like I said, I've been in this space over 10 years in the credit and financing space. I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs. I failed 70% of the time. But like I say all the time, baseball players make hundreds of millions of dollars for hitting 30%. That means they hit the ball 3 out of 10 times. You don't have to bat 100 to be successful. This is why a lot of people are stuck in their situation because they're waiting for everything to be perfect. They expect everything to be perfect. They think they're going to come out the gate and be successful. If you haven't failed yet, odds are you will never be successful. Let me say that again. If you have not failed yet, odds are you will not be that successful. Because, yeah, you may make a little bit of money, but if you're still scared to really put yourself out there, it's going to really be difficult to get to that level you truly want to get to because there's some things you're going to have to learn. How do you learn to deal with rejection if you've never been rejected? Because the problems are different from making $50,000 a year in your business to $100,000. And then the problems from $100,000 to $250,000 are different. And then the problems from $250,000 to $500,000 are different. And then the problems from $500,000 to $1 million is different. And then the issues from $1 million to plus to $2 million and beyond is completely different than the things you're going to face at $50,000, which 70% of small and medium sized businesses, especially in the Black community, make $55,000. So you're going to have to go through and fail fast. That's the secret to success. You got to fail fast. How do I DM you? Appreciate that. For those who are on the chat and on YouTube, you can follow me on social media at Mr. Will Roundtree and send me a direct message, or you can drop a message in the comment section of the YouTube video and I'll respond and how to reach out to someone. How much minimum does your LLC have to bring in? That's a very good question, but that's why you want to tune in to the credit challenge, to the funding challenge. These type of questions is why you want to be at the challenge. Remember, we can't give everything away for free on the free live. Even though I'm giving y'all everything for free on the 5-day challenge, but you got to work a little bit to get some of this information. And all you're doing is clicking some buttons, things we're going to do anyway. And you got to be there every single day. You got to be there every single day to get to the bank, not just the bag. So I appreciate y'all. Unlearn to relearn as well. Absolutely. You have to unlearn everything. You like, think about it. A lot of times you may have to throw your computer away because there's so much old shit on there that putting the new software on there won't even be applicable. Sometimes you got to throw the old computer away. So imagine having to throw everything away that you've been taught in college, everything away your parents taught you, everything that the neighborhood people have taught you, everything your aunt taught you, everything your uncle, your big bro, your big sis. Like, you got to throw all of that away most of the time, because most of the time they don't know. They just said, because I said so. Do this because I said so. Or do this because this is what they said. Who is they? I'm still looking for they. I've never even watched a movie called They. They got a movie called Us, but not They. But we're operating off of they information. We got to stop doing that. We should only operate off of concepts, and concepts that have been proven to work by people who we admire, who say we want their lifestyle, but we're not willing to follow the concepts that they follow to get to that level. We still want to operate off of what they said. So make sure you are at thefundingchallenge.net starting October 24th. And until then,